Numb despair soaked Dresden to his core. All he could do was keep moving, stone by stone, one bucket of dirt at a time. He worked with a crew to raise the town's burial mound. There were a lot of different rituals among the clans, but Georgetown followed the ways of old Kodos. Bodies tended by clergy, wrapped in burial cloth and laid out on the ground. As they were sanctified, stones were stacked around and over them, then dirt brought in to further cover. The graveyard would grow higher over time, and wider too. Eventually, it would become a hill, covered in fresh graves and surrounded by ever grander monuments to commemorate the dead. If ever a day came when the process was no longer tenable, one last shrine would be built to cap the mound and a new one started. A week ago, the Georgetown Cemetery recorded a population of 50. Now it swelled past 100. Sometime later, Dresden and Garum attended the second part of the ceremony, the reading of the names. Dresden's stomach churned. Tears lurked just behind his eyes. The governor and his priest of Oggs didn't even pause as they called Leith's name and moved to the next. So many fallen. For what? Just so they could be remembered once a year on the Dark Lord's High Holy Day? I was coming around, you know, Garum told the dwarf. You made her happy. Dresden cursed. You're not supposed to feel regret when a warrior dies. Sadness for her is wrong-headed, but to grieve your own loss cannot be helped, a nearby man in black leather armor offered. Apologies, I couldn't help over here. Those we love leave holes in our being, a void in our souls. It can only be filled by time and faith that she will be reborn. Dresden noticed the man had an elegant tattoo of a raven on his shaved head. Wings of detailed black covered the back. Tail feathers stretched down his neck, and the head centered on his own forehead. The stylized eyes gave the illusion he had 4 of his own. Humph! The dwarf didn't feel like talking philosophy. How long had you known her? The warden pried. They'd been close for just a few weeks, Garum answered. I'm her brother. The follower of Oggs studied the two. You have both received a great gift. Her glory-filled death will give you and your family a means to preserve her memory for generations, he told Garum. And you, such a young love, but perfect, no time to find each other's flaws and shortcomings. She will forever hold a fondness in your memory as the most perfect partner. Dresden walked away. He had no interest in the man's words. The priest didn't know him. It was just another loss, another disappointment. Coming to the shoreline, he descended, settling into his shadowy cranny, reveling in the frigid discomfort of the wind-blown surf. I can't remember her face, Dresden told the waves. Oh, hey there. You saved me a number of beatings. I didn't think I'd see you here, but since I have, thank you again. Looking up, he spotted the convert he'd spoken to some months ago. With a grunt, Dresden tried to dismiss him. Still don't need to be serviced. I should apologize for assuming. I know now that what happens in the camps is much different than the outside world. If you don't mind me asking, what's the real word from Georgetown? What do you mean by that? He asked accusingly. In truth, he already knew, but hoped it was something else. The man spread his hands in a submissive gesture. The rumor is that some terrible beast is loose on the island, that many hundreds of warriors have been slain. They say that it's a curse coming from the gods because we do not learn fast enough. Ha! Has the demon struck the camps? The man shook his head. then it's not the camps where the gods have found fault. Maybe because of Dresden's tone, Kev grew silent. As the waves crashed into the stones, he thought the convert must have left. Eventually, he craned his neck to see the man was still there. It killed my betrothed. He wasn't sure why he used the term. Girlfriend seemed childish. She will be reincarnated by the grace of Oggs, taken by the sorters and welcomed to the Citadel of Shades. The dwarf scoffed. Yeah, her suffering is over. She's the lucky one, and all that lizard shit. You do not believe it? Dresden rose and strode toward the man. Of course I fucking believe it. He hit Kev hard enough to knock him back, then kicked him twice in the ribs. You fucking heretic piece of shit. I know she'll be reincarnated. She'll come back to us, renewed and ready to once again serve the gods. But it doesn't help. It doesn't do us any good. We were going to be together. Now we can't because she's gone and I'm still here. He sat down on the trunk of a fallen tree. The old pine had lost its battle to the wind and ice. Forever the forest would be without its shade. I saw her die. Nasher saw me and her. It knew I was trying to save her and killed her just to spite me. It turned on me then, but somehow I lived. A patrol found me nearly dead in a pile of corpses. I should be dead. Kev pulled himself up to lean against the stump. He held his ribs and groaned. The gods still have plans for you in this life. Yeah, that's what the priests say. He listened to the wind and the trees while the surf battered the stone down by the shore. What's it all for? We can't affect anything. Before the might of the gods, what can we achieve? Just to survive, to live to the next day. I've seen 100 men die, but maybe I'll make it. A shred of hope is all that keeps me going in that camp. Dresden perked up. That's all we have, isn't it? Hope and faith. Faith that we can someday be good enough. Hope that somehow we'll see peace from our toil. Faith that we will not disappoint our friends and lovers. Faith that our strength will not falter, that we will always be able to move our left foot in front of our right one more time so that we may keep serving. That's all there is, faith. We can only serve the gods because that's all there is. All of this is temporary. Every place we go, we leave. Every person we know dies or parts from our way. Everything we touch, we will one day lose. All the pleasures are doomed to fade. All taste and sensation fated to be forgotten, except the pain. We keep that. That's the only way we know we're alive. When the pain stops, we know that we are dead. From now until then, we can only move towards death and salvation along a path lit by faith. Faith is our guide, the only thing that's real in this world. Everything else is just illusion. But faith will show the way, one painful step at a time. And meanwhile, he's still out there. The beast that killed her is out there. Dark death sent by Abergray himself to torment his own worshippers. A reminder of faith. The gods don't exist to coddle us. Only the strong will survive, Kev, and then only to serve. All we can hope for is to be remembered by a few. Memories to replace the images of flesh peeling from bone and bile torn loose from the body, swung wildly to stain the souls of those who survive.